Hey guys, it is Chad here from the Battle Warrior Podcast, and I'm just letting all you listeners know that the Battle Warrior Podcast episodes will be available across all podcast platforms, guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode today.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Battle Warrior Podcast. I actually have a returning guest because I was on his podcast about a month or two ago, somewhere in there. We're swapping episodes here, guys, but this is a phenomenal guest. We're going to dig into fitness. We're going to dig into a little bit motivation. We're going to dig into all kinds of crazy shit here. So, hey, guys, welcome Scott Freidman to the show. Freidman.
And it actually hit right the first time. Freeman's perfect. Appreciate it. But I appreciate having me on the show, man. It's good to see you again.
Absolutely. And guys, you know, it's been a little bit of a while since I was on a show, but in general here, we're going to be talking about fitness. We're going to be talking about motivation, just in general of topics of trying to break free out of the norm. We'll say it that way, and snap into new habits, new directions, and new stuff here. So the thing we were talking about before we're recording was a theme that got dropped by one of my mentors on my Facebook post last couple days here. But he brought a video out saying, you know, stop waiting to do more. You know, stop waiting around in general, because a lot of us think it, but we don't do it.
First off, I love the topic. It's like, stop waiting to do more. That's literally the pinnacle of what most people, at least in my field, love to do. It's almost like an addiction. We wait so long. And I think what it is, we want to wait for that perfect moment. We want to wait for that perfect time. We want to wait because if the stars don't align, if we're not feeling our absolute best, then something's not right. And therefore we shouldn't do what we know we need to do. And I think that stems from, we can go into 100 different topics on stop waiting to do something, or I guess stop not waiting to do something, and going from there. But really, it's a matter of, okay, you need to move forward. I think that's the pinnacle of what we're going to talk about here is, how do you achieve success? How do you achieve whatever it is the goal? In this context, we could talk about fitness, but really any underlying fundamental principle. If you want to succeed at something, I know you've talked about 100 times, is you got to push forward. You got to make progress in what you want to do. And I think that's so key, because like, if you're waiting to feel good about something, then you're never going to do it. I was actually just listening to a Mr. Beast interview, and I loved, I'm not sure if I could swear or not, but I loved his episode.
Let it fly, man. Let it fly.
And Mr. Beast has nothing to do with fitness whatsoever. He's that awesome billionaire guy who like does all these amazing videos. And he literally said, like, when you're starting on YouTube or something, you need to post 100 videos and they're all going to suck. And you're not going to get any views. Nothing's going to happen for the first 100 videos. And then once you get to 101, we can start talking. But the goal along the way is not to be perfect at every video. It's, can you learn something from what you did? You post video one. What can you learn from video one? What can you get better at every single time you do it? Very similar concept with weight loss and getting fitness. Most people, if it's not the perfect exercise, if you planned for an hour and you only have 30 minutes, because guess what? A meeting popped up on your schedule. You work full time. You have 3 kids. You're a single parent. You have stress. You have an injury. You know, whatever it is, you plan for the hour, something pops up. It's not perfect. I don't feel good. Can't do it. Or it was a stressful day. Oh my gosh, like I just feel horrible. I'm not going to work out today. We are so, I don't know what the word is, but like we're so, I'm gonna get the word. Oh my God, the word escapes me, but we're so ingrained. Yes, it's so ingrained. Perfect. I love it. So ingrained to think that it has to be this motivational feeling. We get to feel perfect all the time. I'm here to tell you, fuck motivation. Straight up, it sucks. Motivation is a bad ex-girlfriend, like, or boyfriend, whatever it is. But for real, like it is a bad, because it's great at first. It's good for like, it's like, oh, like, you know, you shouldn't go back to it. And they're going to suck the soul out of you. Discipline and habit building and doing things that you know you need to, even when you don't want to. that's a great relationship. That's the key to success. And that's the key to moving forward towards your goals. So I think that's the kind of the preface of the conversation is I don't know why we wait, because if the longer you wait, you're never getting anything done. You have to take small steps along the way in order to achieve success.
Well, and we're going to tap into, and I'm waking up a little bit because you started talking about the 100 episodes, 100 videos, whatever it is. And guys, there's levels to anything you do. And I'm going to use podcasting, for example. All right. You go from like the first episode, you're like, how the hell do I do this, to like the 25th, you're like, the 50th, you're like, okay, certain things are cool. I might have to do a little rebrand, pretty much kind of like what I did.
Yeah, same.
And then you hit 100, and then everyone's like, holy cow, you put 100 episodes out. It don't matter if it was in general like 2 months or like for my case 2 years, whatever the situation is. You hit a 3-digit situation or 3-digit number. People are like, hey, there's consistency, there's value. Not every one of them is going to be good. There's going to be a short one that's going to be 5 minutes. That's going to be amazing. Then there's going to be one that's an hour long that you drag ass trying to get through it. That's just how it is. And yeah, you hit certain numbers and all of a sudden it sounds really weird, but you know, I can walk down the hallway and you'd be like, hey dude, give me your podcast, you know, podcast start, boom, flip a switch. Like I don't even have to think. It just comes right up. Or the thing at the end, like, you know, hey guys, give us, you know, come subscribe, give us a review, go, you know, visit Apple, iTunes, Spotify, whatever, like whatever our taglines for the end is. We've just done it so much that it's just such a natural thing. So now let's convert this to fitness. And I signed up for my ultra yesterday, 2 days ago.
Good.
Yeah, you did that.
An ultra marathon. That's right, the ultra marathon. Oh my God. Oof. That's I can't even imagine. I can't run a marathon, and I'm the fitness guy. I can't run a marathon, and that's just like insane to me.
So the reason why I'm doing this is there's a couple things here. So obviously yes, it's my podcast, but I want to tap into this fitness thing. So like there's levels to this. So for me, I never can get enough, but I also been in the fitness world for about 2.5 years after I recovered. So like I'm a recovered addict. Nothing against anyone that drinks or whatever. It's just me and alcohol don't get along. That's just the situation. But the thing I've learned through that process is the thing that I crave is that adrenaline rush, or like for me, I won't stop because I want more. I want more. I want this. So for me, I use that same philosophy and I convert it to personal development. I convert it to fitness. So for me, you know, half marathons are cool. Well, yes, I ran a full marathon last year. This year's an ultra, and it's not so much. I don't even give a shit what people with me in the race do. It's one of those that, like you said, I have to do a tough, hard thing every year just to kind of raise the bar. And I'm gonna use the logic of this. So, like, let's say I finish. Okay, I finished 32-mile race, up and down a hill, mountains, whatever the hell it is. It's really weird, but when you look back to a half marathon, you're like, okay, that's not much. Like it's almost like a warm-up run.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I want to get into with like your fitness. But like the more we get into it, the more we know we need to push more, pain more, whatever it is. We beat ourselves up on purpose because we love to do it.
Oh, I think you hit an amazing point there that most people miss is you have to, whenever you're trying to do something, okay, we'll take fitness as the overtone here, is people want the end result. Let's say you're trying to lose 30 pounds to give people a preface of the conversation. People are so, okay, you weigh 200, you want to be 170. You weigh 300, you want to weigh 270, whatever it is. And they're so focused on the end result of, okay, I'm going to be this weight. This is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to be. But it becomes such a staggering thing that you go for the first week, no big deal. You go for the second, no big. But then you get to the third week, fourth week, things start to not work the way you had originally perceived them to work. And now this goal becomes a juggernaut of, oh my God, how in the world am I going to get there? And that's so you're talking about ultra. I can't even imagine an ultra, and people are like, holy crap, like what? I'm starting at a 5K, right? You don't run an ultra marathon. Most people don't run an ultra marathon or a marathon without starting with 1 mile, 2 miles, 4 miles. So you start at progressive steps. You're not going to get the end result right away. It takes months to really train for an ultra marathon. It takes months to really change your body, to lose weight, to feel good. And the difference, and this is why fitness is so difficult, is that it's very easy to see progress with any, promotions, running, weight, stuff like that. It's very difficult sometimes to see progress with weight loss because it's not necessarily a 1-to-1 ratio. There's things going on that you can't see in your body, and you want to see results today, tomorrow. You think that if I lose 30 pounds, you're going to look a certain way. And when you don't, you're like, like, I am I doing the right thing? All this self-doubt comes out and you're like, what do I do? And then you freeze. And then you stop, and then you start waiting for this perfect moment. And you start telling yourself, well, I'm too tired. I can't do this, because it becomes this massive, just gigantic vortex of doubt and discouragement. Like, you don't know what to do, even though it's like, it's the same goal as it was before, but now you've experienced it. And the issue is you're looking at it its whole, and you need to look at it in its parts. So if you can break down an ultra marathon, like you said, and start getting better and start doing it over and over and over and over again, you just go to the gym, cook your own meals, and you just keep doing it without worrying about the results. When you're going for your running, most people, maybe from my experience, when they're running marathons or working out, they're not necessarily looking at the end result or what they're doing. They're just, okay, I'm going to progress every single day. And by the time I get to the race, I will be ready as long as I stick to the program. Most people, though, when it comes to fitness, they're every day. You see people in the mirror, they're like, oh, what is the tricep showing up? Yeah, how's the chest look? How do they're always looking at their aesthetic because they want the results so fast. And when it doesn't happen, they get discouraged. And like you said with the podcasting, I did 300 episodes of my original show before I pivoted to my new show. And it's like, it took me, the first 100 episodes were like it was all crap. It was, I mean, you can go back, it's still online. It's all crappy. The editing took forever. I probably deleted 50 episodes before I even posted one, because I was so like, I don't know how to do this, but I got better. And now editing takes me 20 seconds. I can record, and if I mess up, I know how to fit. I mean, it's so easy now. But 3-4 years ago, I was like, I can't do this at all. This is too difficult. Similar exact concept. I just got good at it over and over again. I was willing to fail, or willing to just not see progress over time when the downloads aren't happening, or when you just keep going. So when you're not seeing results, it's breaking it down to the journey versus the results, and not worrying about how you feel necessarily, and focusing on what you know you need to do to achieve that specific result.
And you're talking about know what you need to do, and the simple question that people need to really realize is why you doing it. Why are you doing fitness? Why are you doing the runs? Why are you doing this? For me, my podcast, the reason why I could keep going and going and going. Yes, I do slack on episodes at times, guys. We get stuck in life. Shit happens. But the reason why I keep going is, at the beginning, I was healing from my addiction, pretty much is what it was. And then now it's consistency. It's this, I have to do it. And the thing why is all this big circle of shit that I'm doing in my life, which is good. My wise, I don't want to be a stat. Like, I cannot be average for some odd reason. Like, you throw me in a crowd of average people, and I'm not saying, like, I'm not labeling here. Like, I don't blend into crowds. Like, when there's 100 people, I have to turn left. That's just natural. Like, naturally, that's how I am. And for me, I cannot be a stat. So like, if I, go into, and I love live music, but let's say I go into a bar and have live music and just go watch, I cannot be there for the whole show, because I'm like, okay, this is boring, like of a band that I know.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. I don't know about that. I think maybe I'm not the same. Maybe you're a little bit higher end than I am, because I love state concerts. I love listening. I mean, you love doing it.
Yeah. So this weekend I have a 3-band lineup that's phenomenal. I will be at the full concert, but and I'm gonna use this like a Friday Night Fish type atmosphere. We're in the Midwest. They do it down by you too. But like, they go up for Friday Night Fish. He goes sit at the bar for an hour or two, chit chat, whatever. Like, at about an hour into it, my mind's like, okay, I got emails to respond. Like, I can't shut off. No matter what, I can't shut off. my mind goes, okay, I could be working out, or vice versa. I can be creating content, or I can be creating pictures, whatever. Like, I'm a creator. So like when the creative side is shut down, that's when we get in trouble.
I like that. Makes sense. When you hit on the reason why, and I think that a lot of people don't realize how important their why is. So I think I want to break this down for people is because I think that's so important. Your why is your support system. Your why is this internal drive that's going to keep, I said screw motivation earlier because motivation is fleeting. It leaves you. It doesn't stay because no one's motivated at 5 a.m, freezing cold in the, when it's 0 degrees, get ice on your car, you got to scrape it off, warm up the car, sitting there while it's warming up, then drive to the gym for 10 minutes, warm your body up for 15 minutes, then do your workout for the hour, come home, take care of the kid. Like no one's motivated to do that. I mean, like you have like the 0.0001% are motivated. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
But your reason why is what gets you out of bed. The reason why is what keeps you going. When I have my clients, I break them down. I mean, I literally go, why do you want to lose 30 pounds? What is it that you think you're going to gain out of this? We create your why is your clarity. Why are you doing this? Creates clarity in your goal. And when you create clarity and you specify what you specifically want to do, it becomes that much easier to achieve it. And a lot of people don't do that. And that's why New Year's resolutioners just give up after 2 weeks. It's 75% give up after 2 weeks, 80%, 85% give up after 1 month. And then after 6 months, only 5% are left and they haven't accomplished it, but they're still going. I mean, 5% in 6 months is a very abysmal number, but much of the reason why is because they haven't created that support system internally to keep themselves going, to build discipline, to get them going. What gets me going is, I want to get X, Y, and Z. So I do it. Now, and your reason why isn't one singular thing. It can be 100 things. And you list them all out for yourself. So I like to break down, why do you want to lose 30 pounds? Specifically, seriously, why? Tell me. Is it family? Is it vagueness? Do you want to be that person on the beach that everyone stares at, which is totally fine, by the way. But what do you want to do? And then let's identify how important this is to you, because it's easy right now. When you feel good, it's so easy to want to lose weight. It's so easy to want to sign up for the gym membership and go here and do this and work out. But what's not easy is a month down the road when it's not going the way you thought it was going to go. How do you keep going? You keep going through your reason why. You keep going through that support system that you built. And as you keep going, every day that you just gut it out, it becomes easier and easier every single time. And then eventually a year later, it's a habit, it's a lifestyle, you're healthier, you're the best you want to be. But most people never get there. Or if they do get there, they never did it through an internal factor, they did it through an external factor. And that's a whole other conversation. But that reason why is so important. So I love that you hit on it, because that's what most people, that's one of my two fundamental things is your reason why is you need to have crystal clear clarity on why you're doing this, because then you'll be able to support yourself long-term.
Absolutely. And the thing that we're looking at is, and I'm gonna use this for example. We both go in a gym, but there's always one cat that's always at the gym that is always quiet, focused, in the corner, don't do nothing, doesn't talk to anyone, and it pretty much has the get the fuck away from me attitude. And it's not so much guys like they don't want to talk to you. Those are the ones that are doing so much good damage in their life because they can block out everything. Like you can walk in a crowd of like 500 people and they could just feel like they're in a different world.
It's crazy. Those are some scary, those are people, I don't think I've ever been in that mode, but those are some people who are like, they're there at 5 a.m. every single day. It doesn't matter. And I almost promise you, they're not necessarily motivated to be there. They just know what they have to do in order to achieve their goals. They know they're running an ultra Ironman marathon. They know they're doing this. They know they got diabetes in their family and they're getting there because they know they have to. Otherwise they might, have issues later on. There's so many reasons why. And yeah, those people are, that is the epitome of no motivation, all discipline. Because for the most part, I would, from my experience, they're not necessarily motivated every single day. They know what they have to do and they do it. Now, I would say taking that back to the average person, which I would consider myself kind of in that group of, not that I'm average, but you daily life stressors, I got this. And how do you create that discipline through, work, through life, through kids, through soccer camp, through baseball, with dogs, family, cooking dinner. How do you find time? And that's how you go to your why. That's how you build discipline. Obviously there's going to be external factors. Like you said, sometimes the podcast is slacking. Sometimes we miss an episode because life gets in the way. The difference is when people in fitness screw up and they don't have this internal drive, they end up stopping.
Yep.
The difference when people have the internal drive is it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a bad week. It's okay to kind of falter. Like this week was not a great week for me working out. I missed 2 days of working out due to work. It was unavoidable. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm done for the day. I'm going home. I'm not doing it. And there's plenty of days that this happens, but I know that I have the internal drive, the internal habits, the internal why of why I'm doing it to get back up on that horse the next day. Versus someone who just gets started or someone who has an external reason. It's, well, okay, it's been 3 days. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop going. No big deal. I'm done. And then they stop. And then 6 months later, you hear the same story. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I got a buddy for probably, 8 years, said the same thing every single summer. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to be ripped. I'm going to have a 6-pack and I'm going to feel so good. Every, June, July, August, he did pretty well. September rolls around, stops doing it. Winter comes, it's fake. It's the holiday season. He stopped.
You got the loaf of bread in your stomach.
Oh, turkey feels so good. And by the way, I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, but what happens is when you enjoy it for 6 months and you don't work out, and then next, I'm going to get, this is the year. This is my year. And this is constant repetitive cycle that you're in because you haven't identified, you haven't clarified why you're doing what you're doing. And that why, if you do it the right way, tends to be stronger than the idea of stopping, the idea of being comfortable, the idea of quitting for anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a single parent with 3 kids with 3 different sports. If you have a strong enough reason why, you will find 20 minutes every single day or whatever it is to do something. You might involve your family. You might involve whatever it might be. I've trained clients who, it's like, to me, it's shocking, because they are the single parent person with 3 kids. Each of them has a different sport with different schedules. They work 60 hours a week to provide, and yet they still find time to work out almost every single day. And I was just, I'm impressed because they train with me. And it's just like, I'm like, honestly, you don't need me, but this is unbelievable what you're doing. So I know it's possible. It just depends on what you prioritize and how you find that internal drive. And I think that circling back now is the reason why is your internal drive. When you can do that, you will find a way to succeed.
Absolutely. And guys, and I'm going to just do a final saying here, but you have to physically look at this is if I have a family at home and people ask me straight out, okay, if you ever become a dad, are you going to be calming down? No, I think I'm going to be worse. I'm going to be more driven because the reason is this is if you're trying to teach your family, you're trying to lead and you want to teach them discipline, you have to physically do the discipline yourself. And the way I look at it is now, especially in the process that I am now, I have to be the best person I can be for my family. And I don't have any kids, but I'm just doing this for example. So like I have to be the best person I have to be for myself, first and foremost, my family, my friends. Yes, certain things are going to fall off the bucket. That's just life. You only have 24 hours, so certain things are going to drop off. But physically, the reason why I work out is I know what it's like to not be that person back or to be the person that I don't want to be a long time ago. And now I'm looking at it as I need this because I'm bringing it for the life I have sitting in front of me.
I love that. It's just as simple as understanding what is needed and what you want to do. And I think that's perfect clarity. I love that. And that's why you're not going to stop. That's why you're doing, I'm not sure when this airs yet, but all the things that you're doing, it's all these brands, all these podcasts, all these videos. It explains it because where the other end leads and you have that purpose. Again, not everyone has the same thing. I don't have that and other people don't, but everyone has something. Everyone has got something. And maybe you've been cultivated not to explore. Maybe you've been, hit above the head so many times that you don't want to keep swimming, but there's something in there. There's something in there that everyone has. And as if you can figure that out, if you can define clarity for yourself, you can push forward no matter what your circle. I don't believe in victim mentality. I don't believe that especially in the US specifically, like you can define your own destiny. Some of us are given everything over there, and some of us given nothing, and yet you've seen both succeed to the top. And the common deviation there, or the common standard, is no excuses, push forward, and anyone can do it. And a lot of us have been just bludgeoned to just be like, nope, don't do it, you suck. And that's why I think the first step to a lot of this is, what do you want? Why do you want it? And then how do we keep pushing you again and again and again to do it? And I think that's just a very fundamental principle that people can start realizing as they go through it.
And honestly, guys, I'm gonna hit his softball out of park, because the thing is, you just laid it perfectly. Where can all my guests come find all the phenomenal information, or where they can start to go find your information on social media or in person?
My information. So check out the Power of Progress podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, pretty active on Instagram. Scott Freidman 24. So that's Scott Freidman, Freidman 24. That's Facebook, Instagram. There's a link to everything on there. Those are basically the two main places. The podcast is the number one spot if you want to listen to content. Very short audio clips, 10 minutes long for the most part. You'll hear Chad on there. He had a great interview that will be released. I'm not sure when this is released, but it's on there at some point. So in 2023, it'll be in there. That's where you can find me.
Absolutely. And guys, if you want to pay attention to this episode, or you want to download this episode, I'm assuming the rough time frame will probably be about April time frame here, guys. So just pay attention. Go visit his podcast, go download it, go subscribe to it. And the cool thing about our industry that we're talking about here, give him a rating. Tell him how he can do better, or how he cranked it, or how he killed it, whatever it is. And vice versa here, guys. Download both of ours, mine included, and give us a rating on both of them. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy this beautiful episode, and look forward to many more things with you in the future, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.